Hey, what's up guys? Sam here. Welcome back to another video, and today we're checking out iOS 14.3, which Apple just released. There's actually some really dope stuff in this update, from Fitness Plus and the Activity app to support for AirPods Max, which are coming tomorrow. There are a lot of other small changes as well, potentially a fix for the text message delivery bug that's been affecting so many people. So if you're excited for this one, drop a like down below, hit subscribe for more, and let's go ahead and jump in. Alright, so first up, I want to start off with Fitness Plus, because this is included in the Fitness app. If you have an iPad, you actually can go to the App Store and download the Apple Rings app, which is called Fitness, there as well. It's the first time that's ever been viewable or available on the iPad before. And when you launch it up, you should see a new tab in the middle that says Fitness Plus. If that's not showing up for some reason, a workaround I found is that you can go to Apple's website. They have this nice little launch animation for Fitness Plus right here. It takes like 3 seconds, and then you can actually hit like try it now for free, and it'll launch you to right here. Apple says they have world-class workouts with new ones added every week, and of course they're powered by the Apple Watch. That's the part that I'm most interested in. I've already updated to watchOS 7.2, which is already out today, so let's check out Fitness Plus. Now, heads up, I did get 3 months free because, I bought an Apple Watch and it came with it. So if you've bought like any Apple Watch new from Apple in the past couple of months, you should get 3 months for free. So I'm going to start this, and Apple says we are all set. Now, I am not going to focus on Fitness Plus in this video. I'm actually planning to do something a bit more fun, where I tried the service out. Probably later today, if not later this week. So this is how it looks. You've got all these different workouts. You've got a number of categories to choose from. Strength, of course, is what we're going for. We're trying to get yoked before this whole pandemic thing ends. And you got some popular stuff as well. That's actually cool to see like what most people are vibing with, and to see the most popular trainers and such. It's cool. I mean, it seems like Apple's put a lot of good work into this. I really like, again, that it's using metrics in the Apple Watch, because Apple Watch is required. You cannot just simply do an at-home workout without your Apple Watch. So Fitness Plus, it's out now, $80 a year or $10 a month. Let me know your thoughts on this one down below. Now, following that, there is support in this update for AirPods Max, but this section of the release notes is pretty much just an ad. I mean, not to say that the Fitness Plus stuff is not an ad, but it doesn't really add a lot. We know that they come out tomorrow on Tuesday. I should be getting my pair in then. If I don't, I'm going to cry. But for anybody else with other AirPods, it doesn't seem like we're getting any additional features just yet. So AirPods Max users, I think 14.3 is required for it to work, but really no tangible benefit to everybody else. Now, if you did get one of the new iPhones recently, for example, I have the iPhone 12 Pro here in the lovely Pacific blue. You know that Apple promised a feature at launch that we haven't gotten yet, well, at least until today. It's called Apple ProRAW. And while it sounds on the surface like some marketing gimmick, or that it might not actually do that much, it's the first time we've ever been natively able to shoot RAW on the iPhone. And from my limited testing with it, it's pretty wild. So you'll see it natively right here in the camera app. I believe you do have to enable it manually though. So to turn it on, go over to settings, scroll down to camera right here. And then you have to go into the format section and then enable Apple ProRAW for photo capture. Once you go back to the camera app, you've got it right here. And it is pretty subtle, but I'll show you like a quick example. The benefit is that when you go to edit in post, there's just so much more data available, and you have a lot more control over the lighting, exposure, black points of the image that you just didn't have with a standard photo. And you can't really see it again on camera. Like, they look vaguely the same, but the raw photo does have significant more data. And in my early testing, it's pretty impressive. Like in this photo of the lamp, I had so much more control over the end result. It wasn't kind of blown out by the photo just auto setting everything. It's pretty miraculous. And another benefit for those of us that spent the extra cash on the Pro models, we've now got this bonus feature in iOS 14.3. Also in the camera app, Apple says they've added the ability to shoot 25 FPS video, and I believe this is available for all devices. And a huge one, I think, for a lot of you is that older phones now get the mirrored camera. So like, rather than it flipping, when you took a photo and it would, flip everything around, when I take this photo, this part is still going to be on the left. As you can see, that's because I've turned it on. You can enable this by going over to settings and camera, and then I believe right here under the composition section, you can mirror the front camera. So you can turn that on or off. I have it on because I think it's really, really handy. It's one of my favorite things. So you get this on older devices now. I believe Apple said that they've added it on iPhone 6S, 6S Plus. Oh, wow. So every iPhone, it seems like, capable of running iOS 14 has this feature back. This was initially in the beta and they took it out, but this is great news. Probably for a lot of you, this will end up being your favorite, maybe most used feature. The selfie cam can now be mirrored, so you can actually see yourself mirrored all the time. Next up, in the App Store, Apple's introduced a new privacy feature that requires apps to report in plain language with nice iconography exactly what data they're taking. Now, I wasn't able to get it live just yet. It might take a little bit of time for this feature to roll out, but Apple's shown us pretty extensively how this works. Every single developer is required to submit this information, and they're actually at risk of being removed from the App Store if they don't provide this info to Apple. So they seem to be drawing a pretty hard line on apps to be like, okay, you downloaded it. Now, maybe before you even download it or get it on your phone, what data are these using? Again, I'd be fascinated for a lot of Google's apps, for the Facebook app. Like, I just feel like it'll be great for everybody to see that clearly rather than completely hidden, in the back end. You have to go to a special, the page that was normally here is like the privacy policy right there. It's like when you go here, it's just, it's like everybody's got a different one. I get it, but it makes it kind of hard to really figure out what's up. So Apple is going to mandate this in the App Store now, and it should be live hopefully later today and help you understand really what's going on when you put some software on your phone. Finally, as a new year starts to roll in, Apple is revitalizing the Apple TV app. I'm telling you, it has been not great for a while, considering that Apple's made it incredibly difficult to find their own content in here. Like before, you'd have to tap on Apple TV Plus, and this wouldn't even show you all of Apple's offerings. Well, for the first time now on the iPhone and also everywhere else, there's a dedicated TV Plus tab. Now, this just makes sense because, you can actually see what's going on here. Their comedy, their drama. By the way, Servant, great show. There's so much good stuff in here. And the morning show, I'm finishing that up right now. As you can see in my watch later, I'm almost done. It's getting really wild. So you've got that. There's also enhanced search now with additional categories right here that, again, make it, easy to find some featured stuff like the holiday spirit. Search has also been improved. So if you're searching for one of your favorite actors or actresses, if you actually scroll down here, you can see there's like a featured section that highlights actors, actresses, movies, topics way easier than before. You would have to, just use one of these results, but they're a bit more dynamic and they bring a bit more life to the app. Overall, as somebody who's like recently getting back into the Apple TV app, this is a major improvement and it's nice to see. And also in the camera app, there is support for scanning app clip codes. I have not ever seen one of these in the wild yet, but Apple is saying that the support is here. Unfortunately, I wasn't able actually to verify that or test it, but if you see a code in the real world, iOS 14.3 now supports viewing and scanning that to interact. Instead of the health app, I'm just going to read this one verbatim to keep it PG out here. Apple says you now have the ability to indicate pregnancy. Whoa. Lactation or contraceptive use in cycle tracking in the health app in order to better manage period and fertile window predictions. All right, so inside of the health app, you're rocking it now. You're ready to go. You're ready to get started on whatever you're trying to get started with. Moving on to the weather app, Apple says the air quality data is now available in weather maps in Siri for locations in mainland China. Air quality health recommendations are provided in weather in Siri for the US, UK, Germany, India, and Mexico at certain air quality levels. That's actually pretty cool to have that data now. And air quality data in weather maps in Siri reflects updated scales for Germany and Mexico. Inside of the music app, there's some cool new stuff with animated videos. So if you pull up some of Apple's own playlists, this one's called like In My Room, you can see it's actually moving, which is actually really cool. I didn't actually anticipate Apple bringing that here. You can also do like lo-fi bedtime beats, and it's the same thing. Like at first it's kind of frozen, and then you can see some animation happening, which is really dope. Again, it's just like it's a small feature. It doesn't really add any functionality, but I think that this is the way that Apple could potentially pass up Spotify by adding some small stuff here. It's what we need in Apple Music. It's just like more and more parity with Spotify because, every day I feel like I'm still close to switching. Next up in Safari, we know about the default search engine. It's Google. It is a very good search engine. However, if you want to be a bit more impactful with your searching, Apple has added that functionality in iOS 14.3. You probably know that you can change your search engine, but of course the Google being the default, that's what most people tend to stick with. There's a new one called Escocia. By using Escocia and you searching something, it actually does help plant trees. And the interface, the UI, is very similar to Google. But if you go to the homepage right here, it will tell you how many trees have been planted, and they're going up constantly. So just by searching, you could be helping the environment. I believe they run carbon, very carbon negative based on what they're doing. And it's a cool way that you can change this up. It's cool that Apple added this as well. Like being a default search engine on an iPhone and every Apple product, that's a pretty big compliment and a pretty big deal because the amount of traffic you get from that user base, which is us, is pretty off the charts. One of my personal favorite changes in iOS 14.3 that I think is a huge deal is the ability to launch apps made with shortcuts and not be redirected to shortcuts. You can see you just simply get a banner now every single time you launch it. It's obviously a bit annoying still. It's not all the way there yet, but you can retheme your icons and go straight into the app now. There is no delay. Start moving around pretty much instantly. I mean, I gotta say, Apple's been making great strides with widgets on the home screen and then allowing us to do custom app icons. I think the only thing that we need that we don't have is like app icon badges. Those don't work yet on skinned apps, but I really hope that Apple's working on it because I'll do a full switch to a theme once we get that. Rounding out the update with some bug fixes. Apple says that they have fixed the MMS messages not being received. However, I think the issue is not with just cell tower messages. I think it's happening with iMessage and even SMS text as well. So I don't know if this is actually going to be fixed. I don't know if the messages bug is going to work or be fully deployed here. Apple says that contact groups failed to display members when composing a message, so sort of tangentially related to sending or receiving text messages. Some videos would not appear correctly when shared from the Photos app. Apple's fixed that. Weird one on the home screen. App folders may have failed to open at times. Some Spotlight search results also found predominantly on the home screen. Also, while you're on the home screen, if you were using Spotlight search, sometimes opening apps from Spotlight and seeing the search results may not have worked as expected. In settings, if you're trying to set up your AirPods Max, it's good Apple pushed this update out because Bluetooth could sometimes be unavailable. A huge one here for wireless charging. Not only does Apple fix an issue with their own MagSafe Duo charger, where it would charge your iPhone at less than the maximum power, Apple has adjusted an issue with wireless accessories and peripherals using the WAC protocol. We saw this all over the place, that there was an issue with wireless charging. You would set your phone on there on a Qi charger and nothing would happen. 14.3 seems to fix that one. And then finally, the keyboard would dismiss when adding a list of reminders while using VoiceOver, a nice quality of life change there. So this is iOS 14.3. Of course, there are some security updates as well. And on the security side of things, Apple's got some changes here as well for the App Store, Core Audio, Font Parser, couple of font exploits that were happening, some imaging stuff. I'm going to be honest, this isn't my specialty, so I'm not going to go through each one of these and break them down and what the vulnerabilities would be or could have been if they were exploited, but Apple is still, of course, actively working on improving security in 14.3 as well. So this is the update. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you learned something new. If you did, drop a like down below and hit subscribe for more. I've been Sam, and I'll catch all of you in my next video.